Abiyah, we thank you for the Shabbat. We thank you for this opportunity to go forth in your will and purposes. Um, Yahoo is my master. So I want to address something. Who am I or who are you to tell someone that Yahoo is not their master? Where do we get this, I guess, I guess authority to say that someone doesn't have the right to follow Yah? Basically, who are you to judge? Who is Yah's servant or not? How do you get to dictate that? So, me myself, I walked a many years in Christianity, and so with that, I was not actively walking as a son of Yahuwah, as an Israelite, but yet He still plucked me up out of that. He determined that I was, I guess, His belonging. I was His property, and He could have left me over there, just like He could leave many other people. And so you don't know what His intent is for each and every individual. You may see them at a certain state, at a certain point in their process, and not have the fullness of comprehension of what's going to go on with how their walk is going to turn out. You may look at them and say, okay, well, they're not of the nation of Israel. Again, if they come under the Torah, you need to leave them alone. But I want to address some things and stuff because so many people have this knowledge and comprehension that I feel like is incomplete. They'll teach that the only covenant made was with Israel. And I will say over and over, that is the main covenant. Jeremiah 31:31, as well as Hebrews 8 and 8, boom. It speaks on the covenant made with Israel and the Yahudim. I have no argument with that. And I'm thankful that I benefit from that, but also want to say there's more to the story. So let's go. Let's go. Because one of the things Noah, his sons were saved with him. So there were 8 people that he chose to save. Israel didn't come from Japheth. Israel didn't come from Ham. But to think that none of those nations would be able to walk in the kingdom with Yah, that's a hard sell. So let's go. Let's go. That's a hard sell. So let's go. Let me. I'm messing with my video, but let me get to it. I'm gonna share my screen now. Share my screen, and I'm gonna go over here to why Yikra. Yikra. That's what. Yo, there we go. All right. Wayikra, or Leviticus 19, starting with what we call verse 33. And it says, and when a stranger sojourns with you, this stranger, so this is not an Israelite, sojourns with you in your land, do not oppress him. Let the stranger who dwells among you be to you as the native, be just like an Israelite among you, and you shall love him as yourself. For you were strangers in the land of Mizraim. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. Do no unrighteousness in right ruling. Let your judgment be pure. In measurements of length and weight, or in measuring liquids, have right scales, right weights, a right ephah, and a right hin. I am Yahuwah, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mizraim, and you shall guard all my laws and all my right rules and do them. I am Yahuwah. Okay, let's jump right over to Wayikra or Leviticus 24. Go to verse 22. It says, you are to have one right ruling for the stranger and for the native. For I am Yahuwah, your Elohim. Jumping straight over to Bimidbar, Numbers 15. And verse 15 says, one law is for you of the assembly. This is the body of Mashiach, and for the stranger who sojourns with you, a law forever. Stops tomorrow, stops next year. No, forever, throughout your generations, as you are, so is the stranger before Yahuwah. One Torah, one instruction, one law, and one right ruling is for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you. So if they are obeying the law, they're walking in Torah, you're supposed to treat them as one of you. No, they're not biological Israel. That is a requirement partially, but the main part is the walking in Torah. Yes, the covenant is for Israel and Yahudah, but it's about them walking in the right ruling of Yah. That is more significant than that bloodline. Yes, that bloodline does matter because we come first. But those that are walk under the authority of Yah, you can't disregard. Let me keep going. I want to show you something. I know this is not Torah. This is the Brit Hadashah. But Romayim or Romans 14:4 says, who are you to judge another servant? So these other nations are Yah's servant as well if they are obeying his laws, his Torah. To his own master he stands or falls, but he shall be made to stand, for Elohim is able to make him stand. I'm cherry picking, but let me keep going. I want to show you something. And this ain't, I'm not even going to be here long because I just want to show you something. Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah 35. Now, I just got through speaking that the new covenant, before I go here, I'm going to come back to 35. I'm going to go over here and show you what I was talking about in a few, it's a little bit before 35. So go to 31, go down to 31. And you see this. See, the days are coming, declares Yahuwah, when I shall make a renewed covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Yehudah, not like the covenant I made with their fathers in the day when I strengthened their hand to bring them out of the land of Mizraim, my covenant which they broke, though I was a husband to them, declares Yahuwah. Okay, so this happened before what I'm going to go to, but let's go there. Go to 35. I'm going to read this. Follow along with me. The word which came to Yirmiyahu from Yahuwah in the days of Jehoiakim, son of Yoshiyahu, sovereign of Yehudah, saying, go to the house of the Rechabites. Rechabites. Listen, Rechabites. And you shall speak to them and bring them into the house of Yahuwah, into one of the rooms, and give them wine to drink. This is significant. And I took Yaazaniah, the son of Yirmiyahu, the son of Habat Siseniah, and his brothers, and all his sons, and all the house of the Rechabites, and brought them into the house of Yahuwah, into the room of the sons of Hanan, son of Yigdal Yahu, a man of Elohim, which was by the chamber of the heads above the room of Maas Seyahu, son of Shalom, the keeper of the door. And I set before the sons of the house of the Rechabites bowls filled with wine, and the cups, and I said to them, drink wine. But they said, we do not drink wine, because Jonadab, the son of Rechab, our father, commanded us, saying, you shall not drink wine, neither you nor your sons forever. And do not build a house, neither sow seed, nor plant a vineyard, nor have any of these, but dwell in tents all your days, so that you live many days on the face of the land where you are sojourners. See, so we obeyed the voice of Jonadab, son of Rechab, our father, in all that he commanded us, to drink no wine all our days, we, our wives, our sons, and our daughters, nor to build ourselves houses to dwell in. And we have no vineyard, field, or seed, but we dwell in tents, and have obeyed and done according to all that Jonadab, our father, commanded us. See, they obeyed the commandments of their father. They didn't waver. They obeyed the commands of their father. And it came to be when Nebuchadrezzar, sovereign of Babel, came up into the land, that we said, come, let us go to Jerusalem, for fear of the army of Kasdim, and for fear of the army of the Arameans. So we dwell at Jerusalem. And the word of Yahuwah came to Yirmiyahu, saying, thus said Yahuwah of hosts, Master, this is the Master, the Elohim of Israel, go, and you shall say to the men of Yehudah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, have you not received instruction to obey my words? He's speaking to his servants, Yehudah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. He's the master of Israel, and he's speaking to them and asked them clearly, have you not received the instructions to obey my words? Declare Yahuwah. They were disobedient to him. But check it out. The words of Jonadab, son of Rechab, which he commanded his sons not to drink wine, or are established. So they obeyed their father. But when it comes to Israel and Yahudim, no, they ain't obeying their father, their master. And they have not drunk unto this day, for they have obeyed their father's command. And as for me, I have spoken to you rising early and speaking, but you have not obeyed me. See, these had a testimony of obeying their father, while the sons of Yahuwah, being Israel and the Yahudim, no, they were not obeying Yah. And I sent to you all my servants, the prophets, rising up early and sending them, saying, turn each one from his evil way. You're like, teshuvah, repent, and make good your deeds, and do not go after other mighty ones. Don't follow other deities, other gods, to serve them. And you shall dwell in the land which I have given you and your fathers. But you have not inclined your ear, nor obeyed me. The sons of Jonadab, son of Rechab, have indeed carried out the command. They followed the laws of their father, which he commanded them, but this people has not obeyed. Therefore, thus said Yahuwah. See, all of this is happening after he spoke on a renewed covenant. And you got a testimony of this father and his descendants obeying him. And the Most High is talking about his renewed covenant with Israel and Yahudim, that it's going to be manifest, but he ain't getting obeyed. Therefore, thus said Yahuwah Elohim of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, see, I am bringing on Yahudah and on all the inhabitants of Jerusalem all the evil I have pronounced against them. He about to chasten them. He loves Israel, so he about to set forth evil or a whooping on them to chasten them. All the evil I have pronounced against them because I have spoken to them, but they did not listen. Disobedient. Deuteronomy 28 tells you, if you do this, you'll be shown favor. But if you don't, these curses. Right here, he's saying that all the evil I have pronounced against them is going to come because they're disobedient. He said, do this, favor. Don't do this. And they're not doing it because I have spoken to them, but they did not listen. And I have called to them, but they did not answer. And Yirmiyahu said to the house of the Rechabite, thus said Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, because you have obeyed the command, the laws of Yonadab, your father, and guarded Shamar, all his commands, and done according to all he commanded you. Therefore, thus said Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, of Yonabad, son of Rechab, there should never, this is like a forever, never, shall never cease to be a man to stand before me. Hallelujah. 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 Man, that says a lot. That says so much. Okay, somebody will probably ask me, well, how you know that the Rechabites were of Israel? They wasn't focusing on the laws of Yah, they were focused on the law of their father Yonadab. You could see over and over people obeying Yah, going back to the Leviticus, going back all of it, that there were strangers, there were sojourners that would obey Yah over and over again. And thus they were to be treated as Israel. Yah is looking for obedience. Obedience is greater than sacrifice. But let me continue, because I'm going to use some of this Brit Hadashah, and show something else. Let me keep going. Let me go on, Many know this scenario, and so I'm gonna go here with the scenario. Here we go. Share my screen. Johanna, John 21. And let me see. Let me move up. But I'm gonna move up a little bit. This was now the third time Yahusha was manifested to his taught ones after he was raised from the dead. When therefore they had eaten breakfast, Yahusha said to Shimon, Kepha, we know him as Peter, Shimon, son of Yonah, do you love me more than these? He said to him, yes, master, you know that I love you. He said to him, feed my sheep. So Yahusha is telling him to feed my sheep. He said to him again the second time, Shimon, son of Yonah, do you love me? He said to him, yes, master, you know that I love you. He said to him, shepherd my sheep. He said to him the third time, Shimon, son of Yonah, do you love me? Kepha was sad because he said to him the third time, do you love me? And he said to him, Master, you know all. You know that I love you. Yahusha said to him, feed my sheep. Truly, truly, I say to you, when you were younger, you girded yourself and walked where you wished. But when you are old, you shall stretch out your hands, and another shall gird you and bring you where you do not wish. Now, this he said, signifying by what death he would esteem Elohim. And having said this, he said to him, follow me. Now, check it out. And Kepha, turning around, saw the taught one who Yahusha loved following. He seen Yohanan, or some call John, who also had leaned on his breast at the supper and said, Master, who is the one who is delivering you up? Yohanan was the youngest one, and he basically was very careful by Yahusha. This one he labeled the one that he loved. Seeing him, Kepha said to Yahusha, but Master, what about this one? Kepha is worried about another servant of Yah. He focused on not himself, but somebody else. He knowing what has been told to him. He just got to, being challenged and told to watch after the sheep. Yohanan is one of them, but he focusing on him. Like, what about this one? He asked the master about another one of the servants of the master. Let me. What Romans was that? I'm gonna go over here again. And says, "Who are you judge another servant? To his own master he stands or falls, but he shall be made to stand, for Elohim is able to make him stand." So let me go back over here. Nope, that ain't where I'm going. Let me move my stuff. Let me hold on. I might have to stop it and come back in. Let me come back in. Sometimes the bar don't allow me to get up there, but let me come back in. Share it again. Boom, boom. All right. It said, Kepha turned around, saw the taught one, whom Yahusha, loved following, who also had leaned on his breast for supper, and said, Master, who is the one who is delivering you up? So that's what Yohanan had said. Seeing him, Kepha said to Yahusha, but Master, what about this one? And Yahusha said to him, if I wish him to remain till I come, what is that to you? This is my servant, not yours. What is it to you? You follow me. You do what I told you to do. Don't worry about this other one. We so worried about these other nations that we ain't focusing on what we do. Have we turned back to the Torah? Have we really teshuvah? Are we walking as a nation? Are we walking as the royal priesthood that we supposed to? That other nations are supposed to learn from? You got some of these other nations obeying Torah, and we ourselves ain't even got our homes in order to have our homes walking in Torah. You got some of these other nations coming in and joining in the assembly, which they should. But we getting upset because we see them obeying the law, and and it ain't even for them. I just got through showing you that it said if they obey it, you're supposed to treat them just like one of you. But man, it's amazing. Let me come up out of here. It's just amazing how you can, basically want to, mind somebody else's business and stuff like that. You like looking at how green their grass is and stuff like that, not knowing what they did to get it that way. And I'm just using that as an analogy. It's like, man, I'm trying to run your house over there, and my house is in disarray. Me, myself, as an Israelite, I'm focused on Israelites a lot of time, but I deal with a lot of sojourners. And they show me sometimes more respect, more love than my own brethren in Israel. And I can't treat them any different because of that. I have to acknowledge that. I see them walking in Torah. When it comes to a lot of the stuff that goes on, you know, one of the texts says, let another man praise you. I see them often praising those in Israel, but when you look at those in Israel, they rarely ever have a good thing to say to one another. See, I'm one that challenges cognitive dissonance. A lot of this stuff we've learned about the Torah, we learned from Christianity and everything, and we got it wrong. And when somebody asks you about it, when you don't like it and it affects you emotionally, I'm done with that person. You know, you don't even bring forth your offense to your brother. We see that these other nations doing that sometimes. You know, I've seen some of these other nations that's connected to us. You know, when they get offended, they come in my inbox and ask me, what are they? They'll talk to me. When Israel gets met, oh, they unfriended and blocking. They'll go bad mouth and talk to somebody else. Talk to somebody that you relate with, somebody that you're cool with. So it gets back to you. We so worried about what other folks doing, we ain't even minding our own business, handling our own business. And they say, well, what about you? You always talking about other people's business. And I'm like, nah, not really. Not like you think. When Yah tells me to point out certain things, maybe I don't have the tact or the way of doing it that maybe appeals to y'all. I'm a little bit too rough. I'm rubbing against you, causing a little friction. But again, how do you iron sharpens iron? How? I'm calling out a lot of y'all. I ain't saying no names because I ain't really pointing at names. I'm looking at the over and over with us as a people. We don't hold ourselves accountable. And then we don't read. We read, but we read to rebuttal and to make a response instead of to actually comprehend. I've been talking about adultery, talking about polygyny, all these different things, not because I want them, but you need to tell the truth. Stop lying and stop being okay with a lie. I want to be at peace. You're not at peace. You're disenfranchised. You uncomfortable because you know what you're saying ain't true. It ain't a lot of times it ain't even what you feel, but you don't want to offend certain people. Y'all need to stop focusing on Edom because even it tell us not to abhor an Edomite. If they walking in Torah, leave them alone. Deal with your own house. Deal with your own wife. Stop letting your wife run you. And you don't have to be mean to your wife. You know, I think a lot of people, because of some of the stuff I say, they probably think that I'm mean to my wife, that I'm overbearing to my wife. But if you talk to my wife, you open to do that, you find out that's not the case. Me and her, we talk about a lot of this stuff that I talk about with y'all, and she just listens. She communicates back her thoughts. Sometimes she agrees, sometimes she don't. I don't force nothing on her. She happens to be one that loves Yah more than she loves me. And that's what I love most about her. Her love for Yah. She ain't one of these ones that want to take submit up out of the vows of marriage. Even though we got married before we recognized ourselves as Israel, we recommitted and we probably need to do a revows or whatever, do that over just for our own sake. Because we already come to a conclusion and an agreement with one another. But I don't have to appease y'all. If anything, I'm trying to appease Yah. And in that, sometimes, you know, I'm gonna appease my wife sometimes too, but a lot of times that ain't my job. No, I'm supposed to lead. And sometimes leading is not a comfortable position. Y'all too easy to let your emotions lead you and your feelings lead you. So now you having issues with other nations and other people when you ain't got your stuff together. Get your own house in order, Israel. Yahudim. Stop trying to push away these other nations. You don't know what covenant Yah has with them. They could be like the Rechabites. They could be like these sojourners and these strangers that's obeying Yah, that he has said he sees them just like you. Yes, we supposed to be royal priesthood, but how you gonna be a royal priesthood and you can't even run your own house? How you gonna run the nation and other nations and you can't even run your own house? Well, Abiyah, I thank you for this opportunity to come forth on the Shabbat. Hey, I done stepped on some eggshells today, I know. But may your will be done. May you deal with me. If I'm being too rough, you smooth out those rough edges. You address me, Yah. I'm your servant. You have a right to scold me. You have a right to chasten me. You have a right to correct and get me back in order. Hold me accountable. Definitely. And use me, to deal with this cognitive dissonance out there. Even if they don't want to hear me, maybe someone else they'll hear. But let your will be done in this household as it is in the Shamaim. Let it be on earth as in his household, Carter household. Hallelujah. Abiyah. Hallelujah. And Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.